Yes, good morning, everyone. So,
Good morning, sir.
good morning. Today uh, we are going to discuss the continuation of yesterday's class. That is nothing but we were discussing about the diesel power plant yesterday. The schematic diagram we discussed yesterday. So, little bit into it, the pending part of the schematic diagram. The initial 10 minutes, I just want to discuss once again the schematic diagram itself. Then later, I'll be discussing about the importance, the advantage and disadvantage of diesel power plant. Then later, we'll be discussing about how the selection of site will be happening for a diesel power plant. Okay, so in this diesel power plant part, we don't have much things, only the schematic diagram, the merits, demerits, and site selection. That much only is sufficient. Okay, so I'm just going to my slide itself directly. Uh, yes, so this is the practical. This is in this figure you can able to see a practical diesel power plant over here. You can able to see a practical diesel power plant. How a diesel power plant is placed and how big it is. Okay, so all these things you can able to see it over here. And in the next slide here, this is what we discussed, the schematic diagram. Okay, if they are asking about the schematic diagram and explanation of diesel power plant, you have to draw this figure, then you have to give the explanation of the same. Okay, so now in this figure you can able to see that there are different parts of it in a diesel power plant. Okay, so similar to your thermal power plant, uh, the heart of your diesel power plant is nothing but your diesel engine. Okay, so yesterday itself I told you the working of your diesel engine. So the diesel engine may be two stroke or four stroke. It may be two stroke or it may be four stroke engine. Okay, and whatever may be the engine. So the working of the same, the four types of working will be happening. That is nothing but air suction, then the compression, then the working or the power uh, section. Okay, then finally you will be having the exhaust. Okay, so you have four operation will be happening in a diesel engine. So the first one is nothing but air suction. In that step, the diesel power plant will take air inside. Okay, will take air inside. Then you have the next topic is nothing but the compression, air compression will be happening. So during the compression time, the temperature of the air, okay, that is nothing but during suction time, the air will be filled inside the piston. Okay, so during the compression time, the temperature of this air will be increasing up to 500 degrees Celsius. Then when the third step, that is nothing but third step, what is happening? We are providing little bit of fuel. Okay, the fuel is inserted into it. When the fuel is going inside, what is happening? So when the fuel is going inside, so that time the major thing, that is nothing but the explosion will be happening, and the temperature inside the cylinder will be rising from 500 degree to 2500 degree. So that much high temperature will be happening. So when that high temperature explosion is happening, the piston or the rod will be moving down. Okay, so the rod will be moving downwards and the crankshaft will be starts rotating. And it is not only rotating, and it is not rotating independently. At the same time, if there are n number of cylinders which is connected, okay, at a time, one cylinder, the power stroke will be happening. Okay, so there are four stroke, that is nothing but suction stroke, compression stroke, power stroke, and then the exhaust stroke. So the at a time, if you have eight number of cylinders are there, okay, two cylinder at a time, the power stroke will be happening. So because of that power stroke or the explosion, that will be rotating your crankshaft, and that along with that crankshaft, entire cylinders will be forced to move. Okay, so at a time the first one will be okay. At a time your first one is providing this one means, the second time the third one will be providing it, and the fourth one will be providing. Then the second one will be providing. That is the order how it is arranged. Okay, so all won't be doing the function of power stroke at a time. If n number of cylinders are there, that will be doing in n number of way. Okay, that is n number of way in the sense n number of time. Okay, so duration will be different, and by considering that duration, the working of inside the engine will be happening. The input required for a diesel engine is nothing but there are mainly two input for the working. Okay, two more input is required for the operation. Okay, smooth conduction of operation, and there will be mainly two outputs. Okay, so the two inputs which is required for a diesel power plant is nothing but the first one is nothing but the air, and the second one is nothing but the fuel itself. Okay, so in this part you can see in the air how it is going inside a diesel engine. The air in this figure itself you can see there is a air intake filter. Intake air filter is there. Okay, intake air filter is there. In this intake air filter, you can able to see that what is the function of this filter. That is nothing but if there is any ducts are there, that is nothing but if any dust particles are there. Okay, if any dust particles are there, that will be removed in the air filter. Okay, and then after that you have ducts are there. That ducts is nothing but it's the pipe. Okay, different pipes are there. Okay, in that pipe what they are doing, okay, that pipe what they are doing is nothing but okay, in the whatever the air which is coming through your filter, that is nothing but the filtered air which is coming, that is directly flowing to your air ducts only or the air pipes only. That will be carrying your air into the engine. Inside the engine you have a supercharger also. Okay, inside the engine you have a supercharger. That is nothing but here the filtering happening and the air is moving inside, and you have the supercharger inside. So supercharger, I told you yesterday itself, the function of the supercharger is nothing but the it will be okay. So the in the supercharger the major function is nothing but the pressure. Okay, the air pressure will be increased. Okay, whatever the pressure the air is coming, that pressure of the air will be increased before moving into the diesel engine cylinders. Okay, so that is the function of your supercharger. So that is the first part. And second input to your diesel power plant is nothing but the fuel. Okay, so how the fuel is saved inside a diesel power plant is nothing but if it is a diesel power plant, outside the diesel power plant there will be a big tank will be there. Okay, so there will be a big tank will be there, and to that tank normally the through some transportation facility, maybe through roadway or rail service, the diesel will be filled in that big tank. Okay, so when how much is required, so that will be transferred to a day tank. Okay, so how much is required for a day, that will be transferred to a day tank. Okay, so that is nothing but this is the main fuel tank. Okay, that is transferred to the day tank over here. Okay, so both will be placed outside your diesel power plant, because for the safety purpose that will be placed outside your diesel power plant only. So that one big tank, and from there it is transferred. Maybe big tank means not only a one single big tank, it may be 3 tanks or 4 tanks will be there. Okay, big diesel power plant. Okay, diesel tanks will be there. Okay, from there how much is required for a day, that will be transferred to a day tank. Okay, that is nothing but one tank will be there. If suppose if you have 8 number of diesel engines are there, so for that one tank is sufficient, one day tank is sufficient. So that will be transferred over there. Okay, while transferring, what we are doing is nothing but there are mainly two more functions. One is nothing but a strainer. What is the function of strainer? That is nothing but it removes. Okay, it removes any dust particles other, or the filtering of the oil or the fuel is done by your strainer. Or if any like big materials are there, that is nothing but some impurities or any hard particles are there, so that will be filtered in the strainer. And you have a pump. Okay, so that is nothing but pump will be supplying. Okay, that is nothing but pump will be forced to move the fuel from your main tank to your day tank. Okay, so that will be in the day tank, that will be stored. Okay, in the day tank, that will be stored. Okay, then once after that, what we are seeing is nothing but the here you have uh, the fuel will be going inside, and there also one more filterage arrangement is there, and through where the fuel will be going, the fuel will be going to your cylinder head of each cylinder. Okay, cylinder head of each cylinder. There you have the uh, oil, the fuel intake is there. Okay, where the fuel intake is that yesterday I have shown you. Okay, so that is the second input. Okay, the first input is here, and second one is nothing but your fuel. So two things over. Okay, so three parts over: engine, fuel intake, and the air intake is over. Okay, now your fourth and fifth one is nothing but it is required for the smooth functioning of your engine. Okay, so the first one is nothing but the lubricating oil. Okay, why the lubricating oil is required? That is nothing but, okay, so every time inside the engine, the movement of the crankshaft is happening, and the crank lever and the piston. Okay, piston is moving inside the cylinder, right? Okay, so there is a cylinder, the piston will be always moving inside in the upward and downward direction, correct? So why it is required is nothing but, okay, so lubrication is required. Okay, lubrication is required for the smooth functioning or the smooth movement of this uh, inside this cylinder, correct? Okay, so for that the lubricating oil is required. Okay, so for that, in that particular channel, for the lubrication oil system, you have different parts. That is nothing but there will be a lubricating oil tank will be there. Okay, that is nothing but for each engine different lubricating oil tank will be there. From there the oil should be pumped, that means a pump is required. Okay, so when the lubricating oil is moving, automatically that should be filtered. Second part, the filtering will be happening. Okay, the lubricating oil, once it is going inside your engine, okay, it will become too hot, correct? So that, so main function of your lubricating oil is nothing but it should be, that is nothing but the function should happen properly. If the temperature is raising more than a limit of a lubricating oil, then what will happen? Its function, it won't do that. Its function and the burning of your lubricating oil will be happening. Okay, to avoid that, before entering into your diesel engine, so it should be cooled properly. So that is why the cooling will be happening, then the lubricating oil will be going into your diesel power plant. So what all the things will be there? Lubricating tank, you can see in the figure, the green one, this is the lubricating tank. You have a lubricating oil pump is there, that is going forward direction. There is a filter is there. Okay, filter, once after the filter, you have a lubricating oil cooler is there. I told you before entering into the diesel engine, the cooling, proper cooling of the diesel, the lubricating oil is required. The cooling will be happening, then it is going to your engine. Okay, then it is going to your engine, then this path it is coming back. When it is coming back, it will be too hot. Okay, so that is the fourth part. And now the fifth part is nothing but the cooling or the coolant or the water cooling purpose, water cooling path. Okay, so why the cooling is required? I told you now itself. Okay, lubricating oil, if the temperature inside the diesel engine is very high, because in the cylinder head itself there will be a high temperature, because I told you the temperature inside the during the explosion time, it is around 2500 degrees Celsius. Okay, if that much high temperature is flowing, okay, or it is reaching inside, then automatically the lubricating, whatever the lubricating oil is going inside, there is a chance of burning that. Okay, or your cylinder will get damaged. Okay, there are lots of chances are there. So proper temperature should be maintained for your cylinder head or inside your diesel engine. So the function of your this water cooling is nothing but the function of your diesel power plant. The water cooling or the coolant is nothing but the proper to keep your diesel engine at a minimum temperature or at a normal temperature. So for that, okay, so for a cooling means, okay, so cooling purpose, the coolant should go inside. Okay, I'm starting from this side. Okay, when it is entering into your machine, so where and all it will be flowing. If you have 8 number of cylinders are there, for 8 number cylinder head, that will be going as a snake. Okay, the arrangement will be like this. Okay, 8 cylinders are there, 8 cylinders are arranged like this. So automatically, so that will be flowing like a snake, and the water or the coolant will be flowing through that path, and the temperature transfer will be happening from your cylinder head to this coolant or the water. Okay, though when it is coming out, it will be too hot and the pressure will be very high. So that is why first itself I'm placing one surge tank. Okay, you can see here the water is coming out through this path. First it is going to the surge tank, so it is open to the atmosphere. So automatically, if any pressure variation is happening, then automatically that will be removed in the surge tank. Then it is pumped. It is pumped backward and it is going to a heat exchanger. Okay, it is a heat exchanger. Why it is a heat exchanger means, if it is direct water, then we can mix or we can take it directly to the cooling tower. If it is a coolant, we can't mix it with a normal water. Okay, so a heat exchanger is provided so that this inside the heat exchanger, how it will be there, similar to your thermal power plant. I told you in a superheater or in economizer, everywhere one pipe, this coolant will be going, and outside to that normal water will be there. So that is nothing but similar to a condenser. Okay, so similar to a condenser, we have two type of condenser: jet condenser and surface condenser in the case of your thermal power plant. So you take the concept of a surface condenser. Okay, so that is nothing but through the pipe, this coolant will be flowing, and outside to that the normal water will be flowing. Okay, in the cooling tower, when it is flowing, okay, so in the heat transfer, the heat will be transferred to this water and it is flowing to this cooling tower. In the cooling tower, the cooling will be happening and the water will be pumped again and again to this for the heat transfer purpose. And the water path is not stopped over here, and the coolant is flowing once again through this path, and the cooling of your lubricating oil is happening, then it is flowing to your diesel engine. Okay, so this is the two inputs and two required arrangement for your diesel power plant. And one more main part is nothing but your diesel engine. So 5 parts is done. Then now the 6th part is nothing but the exhaust system. When it is working properly, this is the exhaust. That is nothing but exhaust duct will be there. That is nothing but pipe will be there, and that is connected to a silencer. So when it is connected to a silencer, so why the silencer is required? To remove the noise level. So that will be connected and that will be open to the, that is nothing, whatever the exhaust gas is coming, that will be open to the air. Okay, now this is the 6th part. Now the 7th part is nothing but the starting system. Okay, why the starting system is required? I told you very clearly in yesterday's class only. Okay, if it is a normal diesel power plant which is there, or diesel generator in our house, then what we used to do, we used to tie a then we will be pulling that tie, we will be putting that tie in a particular place, and we will be pulling that tie, and the diesel power plant will start rotating. Or you can connect one handle over there, and we can rotate the diesel power plant, or the initial movement you can give it, and then once after that the stock option or the power stock will be happening, then the diesel power plant will be working properly. Correct? So that is a case of a normal or a small one. Okay, but if it is a large one, it is not possible for us to do it manually. So we need some arrangement, that is nothing but either you can connect a motor for that. Only for the starting purpose, you can connect a battery connected motor over there. That is nothing but when the switch is on, the motor will give the initial movement. Then once the diesel engine starts rotating, then the motor will be in off condition. That is the first arrangement. That is nothing but here instead of this, I'm connecting one motor which is connected to my diesel cylinder shaft. Okay, or diesel engine shaft. Okay, rotating shaft. Otherwise, what I will be doing is the second arrangement is nothing but the compressor arrangement. Okay, inside this compressor arrangement, there is a compressor tank over here, air compressed tank over here. Okay, so that is nothing but air starting air compressor you can see, and that compressed air will be filled in this tank. Okay, so this is a starting air compressor, and that compressed air will be stored over here, and that is transferred to your engine cylinders. Initial engine cylinder, the compressed air will be filled inside your, okay, the compressed air will be filled inside your piston. Okay, piston cylinder arrangement. When the piston will be moving downwards, and the compressed air will be filled over there. Okay, when a compressed air is filled over there, when the fuel is going inside, automatically the explosion will be happening, then the movement will be starting. Okay, so that is the process. Okay, only for the starting purpose, the compressed air or compressor arrangement also we can do it. So this is the seventh part, that is nothing but starting system. This is the seventh part of your diesel power plant. And the eighth part or the final part of your diesel power plant is nothing but the alternator. That is nothing but when the diesel engine starts moving, automatically the crankshaft will be rotating, and that will be connected to an alternator. That is nothing but this generator over here, and the power will be generated. Okay, so these is the number of different parts of a diesel power plant. Okay, so all of you can give attendance right now. Please give your attendance. Please give your attendance fast. Yes, I'm moving to the, this is similar to the previous diagram only. That's why I'm not going deep into it. You can see that the diesel power plant, the prime mover or the diesel engine, you have two options. One is two-stroke engine, another one is four-stroke engine. The same thing only which I explained over there. I've just kept three to four slides more. Okay, for your better understanding, the prime mover or the diesel engine may be of two-stroke or four-stroke. Then you have the fuel system I told you. Okay, the input fuel which I told you, the input fuel, there will be a storage tank over here that will be transferred through pipe, and that is reaching a day tank. Okay, so through the transferring path, you have the strainer. Okay, this is nothing but the strainer where the purification, that is nothing but this is connected like this, means here is a pipe which is going. Okay, here is a pipe, and it is going through a strainer, then it is going forward, and it is connected to a day tank. Okay, so that is the next one. Now you can see the lubricating system. Here itself you have the lubricating. This down part you can able to see now. So this black color one, So this is nothing but the lubricating oil tank. Okay, so this is the lubricating oil tank. Then this is the pump, this is the filter, and this is the oil cooler. So that is nothing but from the pump will be supplying lubricating oil from here. It will be flowed into this part, and first the filtering is happening, then the oil cooling is happening, then the lubricating oil will be going inside. This is the cylinder head, right? Okay, so this is the cylinder head. Okay, you can able to see this, these are the cylinder head. So through this part the lubricating oil will be flowing. Okay, yes, now I'm moving to the starting system. So here what I explained now, no, the same thing they have also shown. Okay, the smaller units can be safely be started manually by hand cranking. Okay, that is nothing but by using handle, or I told you by using some the tie also we can use. Okay, but for larger system we need either with a compressed air system or a battery motor system. Now the exhaust gas path, you have the exhaust fuel is going through the exhaust duct, then outside you have a silencer. You have a silencer over here. So inside the silencer, what is happening, the sound noise will be removed. In the air intake system, okay, so in the air intake system, first you have a filter. Okay, remove dust from the air, and it will be dry type wool or clothes. Okay, that will be made of wool or clothes, and first the dust will be removed over here, and that is going inside, and through the duct it is going inside to your diesel engine. Okay, now these are the different parts which I've shown. The confused parts I just shown. Okay, so other than that, lubricating oil system, starting system, fuel system, air intake system, exhaust system I explained. I think only the water path I didn't show. Okay, so when I'm sharing the slide, even that figure also I'll try to include. Okay, when I'm sharing the slide, I'll try to include even that water system also, water flowing system also. Okay, I hope there is no doubt. If you have any doubt, you can please put a text to me in the chat part so that I'll get to know that. Yes, now I'm moving to the major advantage of a diesel power plant. Okay, so what are the major advantages of diesel power plant? Here, the diesel power plant, the major advantage is nothing but we can construct or we can place this diesel power plant in place. That is a major advantage. The area required for a diesel power plant is very less. The area required is very less. You can only think that the area required is very less, and you can think that you can only you have to consider that you should not place it in a very populated or a crowded area because of the pollution concept. We should not place it. So we can place it any other places. And if any power variation is required, okay, that is nothing but generation variation is required, we can control it very easily. And if suddenly, if you want to switch on the diesel power plant, it is very easy. Or if you want to shut down a diesel power plant, it is very easy. Okay, and if it is under standby situation also, there is no problem. Okay, but in the case of your thermal power plant, if you are thinking, okay, if you are placing it under standby situation, how it will be? It is very difficult, correct? Okay, because to start the thermal power plant once again, it is very difficult. So that is one major advantage of your diesel power plant. Under standby situation also, there is no problem only. Okay, and we can use this thermal power plant to give power or auxiliary power to any other power plants. Similar, you can take the example of in a thermal power plant. Okay, during the construction time or once after the construction, if any failure happened or if any maintenance is happening, you can connect one diesel power plant to give auxiliary supply to your generating station, that is thermal generating station. Okay, similar in the case of your steam power plant also. Okay, steam or hydroelectric power plant. Okay, you can see the different advantages. Few advantages I have shown over here. That is why I'm just explaining. This is simple in design point of view because it's very small, required very small space. I told you it can also be designed for portable use. Portable use, that is nothing but for your house is required, any function is coming, then you can bring a diesel generating station or diesel generator into your house. Or the same thing, okay, to our college itself, okay, some function is happening, okay, so what we will do, we will not depend upon the external power, we will switch on the diesel power plant itself or the diesel generator itself. Okay, that is, it is very portable one and we can able to transfer it to any places. It has quick starting facility. I told you in seconds it will start generating. In seconds, it will take only very few seconds to start. Okay, cooling is easy and requires smaller quantity of water. In the case of your thermal power plant or hydroelectric power plant, large quantity of water was required. Here only for the cooling purpose we need water, so the quantity of water required is very less. Okay, the initial cost is less than other type of power plant because the construction of your thermal power plant or hydroelectric power plant, nuclear power plant, everything is very costly compared to any other power plant. This is comparatively very less initial cost. Okay, it can be stopped when it is required. Very quickly we can stop. Okay, can be easily be started and stopped whenever required, and standby loss also is very less. Okay, thermal efficiency of diesel power plant is high compared to coal. That is nothing but coal burning, ash removal, all those is happening, and because of the ash content and all, it is the thermal efficiency is very less. But in the case of your diesel power plant, everything is good. Okay, these are the few diesel power plant advantages which I have shown, and other than I told you, okay, the weight, the construction, everything is very less. Okay, now I'm moving to the next part, that is nothing but the disadvantage of your diesel power plant. Okay, the running cost is high. The first one itself, the running cost is very high because in the case of your diesel power plant, the fuel which we are using is diesel, and compared to your coal, it is very costly. So running cost is high. The initial cost was less because the construction cost, everything will be less. That is why the initial cost was less, but here the running cost is very high. Okay, so only for small power requirement, this kind of diesel power plant we are using. Okay, because major power we are depending upon your thermal power plant or the hydroelectric power plant or nuclear power plant. We are depending. The diesel power plant is only for small purpose only. Okay, the cost of lubricants is high. That is nothing but lubrication oil. I told you when it is going inside, as the temperature is more, automatically it will start burning, or before the burning step, what will happen? Lubricating oil amount will be reducing. That will be keep on reducing. So the cost of the lubricants is very much we have to regulate. Maintenance is quite concern, and the maintenance is quite complex and cost is high. The maintenance means the lubricating oil has to change. Okay, lubricating oil has to change, and the air intake duct has to, the filter has to be removed, and whatever the pollution or the any this one pollutants or the any dust are there, that should be removed. Okay, because the maintenance work will be keep on coming. That is one of the concern of your diesel power plant. Okay, under overload condition, it won't be able to work for a longer time. In the case of your thermal power plant, 25% overload it can able to withstand, but in the case, in this case, it is not possible. Only for very few seconds, and that too very few more load, overload, it can able to withstand. Okay, these are the disadvantage of your diesel power plant. Now I'm moving to the different concept which I am considering for the selection of site for a diesel power plant. Okay, so first thing, distance from the load center. Okay, we can keep it very minimum because we can construct the diesel power plant wherever we require. Okay, so only thing is the transportation facility we have to think. Okay, that is nothing but to transfer the diesel to that particular location. Only that thing we have to think. That is one more point, the availability of transportation facility, the fourth point. Okay, then the availability of land. Okay, because the land which we required should be cheap in cost, because in the case of your thermal power plant or hydroelectric power plant that is located in a remote place, and because of the same the cost will be very less. But in this case diesel power plant we are keeping it near to the load center, maybe near to the town. That is why inside Bangalore also we have one diesel power plant, Yelanka. Okay, so the availability of land means that wherever the land which we are choosing, the cost also we have to think. The availability of fuel, because the fuel should be easily available and at a reasonable rate. If it is near to seashore or anywhere, that will be always comparatively good. Availability of water, because for the cooling purpose we need water, and distant from populated area we have to keep little bit distant from populated only because of the pollution. Okay, and type of land, and even some sound will be there, correct? In the DC power plant there will be some sound also, that also we have to consider. And the type of land, the land should be capable to withstand the load of the plant. Okay, so it should be capable to withstand the load of the plant. That is nothing but if it is n number, maybe this we have five plants, five different diesel engines at a time. Maybe in the future we can extend that five to another three more we can extend, so that land should be capable to withstand that. So these are the major things related to diesel power plant. Yes, I'm moving out. I think I just done with the PPT. Yes, I'm just unmuting all. If you have any doubt you can ask me regarding diesel power plant. Yes, if you have any doubt you can now. Have any doubt?
No, sir.
So tomorrow I'll be starting with the gas power plant. Tomorrow afternoon we'll be starting with the gas power plant. I think even for gas power plant we need two classes, two to three classes. Okay, for diesel power plant we completed in two classes. In case of gas power plant we need three classes, because there are the open loop system, closed loop system, everything is there. That is why that we have to, that we need three classes. Okay. So if you don't have any doubts, we can conclude the meeting. If you have any doubt, you can chat. Otherwise, you can leave the meeting.
You can.